How would you help to secure water resources for the residents and farmers of District 10?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Christina. As a former Turlock Journal paperboy, it feels pretty interesting to be on the other side of the table. Thrilled to be here. On water, water is not a partisan issue in the Central Valley. It's both Republicans and Democrats around here both drink water, it turns out. And we have a history of Republicans and Democrats in the Central Valley working together on water issues to make sure that we're getting our fair share. And that's why it was such a shock to me to see our congressman cast a vote a couple months ago to fast track the Delta tunnels. This bill that would build tunnels that would ship Northern California water 9,000 cubic feet per second down to Southern California. The fastest way to make our fruit and nut basket into a dust bowl would be making sure that we're shipping our water down to Southern California. And our congressman did that after taking thousands of dollars of campaign contributions from farmers down in Southern California who would profit. So my number one priority is to make sure that we fight for every single drop of water that's necessary. But we have to go further. We went through 7 years of drought here in the Valley. That wasn't caused by Sacramento, that wasn't caused by Washington, that was just caused by the world that we live in. And the way that we combat that is to make sure that we have funding for the water storage projects that we need. Jeff Denham's going to talk a little bit about what he's trying to do on water storage, but the reality is in his 8 years in Congress, he has not gotten a single dollar, not one federal dollar of water, of money for water infrastructure in this district. We've been talking about the Sites Reservoir, which is a really important water infrastructure project in Northern California. It's been talking about it for 25 years. It has yet to break ground. We need to make sure that we have somebody in this district who's going to fight for our water and fight for the future of the Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Denham.
Well, thank you. There's not a more critical question than our future of our water here. And Josh is right. Look, this is not a partisan issue for us here in the Valley. I work very closely with Jim Costa, Adam Gray. We had 1,500 people go up to the state water rally. It was an important issue if you're from the Valley. But we call him Bay Area Harder because he aligns himself with the Bay Area and their issues. When it comes to water, he's siding with the issues that take our water and ship it south, as well as the bill that he talks about was the stop to the state water grab. I'm not for the Bay Area and their water grab to push more of our water out to the ocean. I'm getting the administration to work with our state to make sure that they don't steal our water. But I'm taking it much further than that. You know, it's not just about going to Sacramento as Republicans and Democrats, 1,500 of us, Democrats that were running for every other office except for this one. It goes much further than that. It's actually focusing on the future. We've got to stop and make sure that they don't steal our water, but we also have to focus on the future. Now, he was reading the news, he'd have saw that Shasta was just approved, that we have actual federal funding for Shasta for the first time. And we've fought the Bay Area on this for a very long time, but we're actually pushing it forward. The new Water Act will be signed into law next week. The new Water Act is actually a financing mechanism to be able to leverage our state water bond to actually build the storage that we've been talking about for years. If you take a look at why our water has been stopped, the delta flows, the delta smelt, it's those Bay Area positions that have forced us to push more water out without having the science behind them. I will fight for the Valley. I'll continue to do it. I'm proud of my record, and my record speaks for itself.
Please hold your applause. Please hold your applause so we can get through as many questions as possible. Mr. Harder, do you have a rebuttal?
Yeah, look, I mean, two things. One, I know it's hard to imagine, but on the water rally, I was holding a community town hall here in the district talking to actual constituents. Hard to imagine because I know you haven't done a town hall in a year and a half, but some of us running for office actually like to meet our constituents and talk to people and hear the issues that are so concerning to citizens here. And I noticed one thing that I didn't hear in that answer, which was any mention of the Delta tunnels. The single biggest threat to what's happening to our water is shipping our water down to Southern California. Any vote to fast track that after taking campaign contributions from farmers and water districts down south that would benefit is simply wrong, and that's one of the reasons that I'm not taking a single dollar of corporate PAC donations. So there's no confusion as to who I'm working for. The only person that I'm working for is this district, and that's what we're fighting for. Thank you.
Well, let me start with the Delta tunnels. I've been very clear. My position has always been out there. I've always been opposed to them. but his supporters, Jerry Brown is the one who's pushing it. Gavin Newsom is the one that's pushing it. When you're talking about Bay Area issues, those are the ones that are pushing to take our water away. Look, I've been very vocal about my positions on water. I've been out there fighting for it, and not only as your member of Congress, but as a voter. You know, we've had water bond issues on the ballot 2 different times in the last decade now. He didn't vote for either one of them. You got to at least show up and vote. It's one thing to criticize those that are in office, but you ought to at least show up to vote. I served my country 16 years, signed up at the age of 17. It is one of the fundamental rights that we have is to actually go out and vote. Whether you want to run for office or not, you ought to at least show up and vote on the water bonds that you think are important.